You ever walk by one of those gorgeous old brick buildings and think, man, that thing is built like a fortress, just solid, gonna be there forever? Well, what if I told you they all have a secret weakness? And, lucky for them, a hidden shield that keeps them standing. Today, we're gonna pull back the curtain on that shield, tuck pointing. So, what is the big secret? We see these brick walls literally every day, but we never really stop to think about the glue that holds all those bricks together. I'm talking about the mortar, right? That stuff in between. And that's where the story gets interesting. You see, the real villain here isn't some big, dramatic wrecking ball. Nope, it's time, it's weather, it's the slow, quiet, creeping decay of that mortar. Rain and ice get in there year after year, creating these tiny little cracks. And trust me, those tiny cracks can turn into huge, expensive headaches. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is your brickwork is going to give you plenty of warning signs before things get really bad. It's kind of like your house is sending up a flare. You just have to know what to look for. Okay, so what are these flares? First, actually go up and touch the mortar. Does it feel powdery? Is it crumbling? That's a huge one. Or maybe you can see actual gaps, or a brick looks a little wobbly. Those are massive red flags. And it's not just outside. If you've got water leaks inside, that could be the cause. Also, keep an eye out for white chalky film on the brick. That's called efflorescence, or even dark streaky stains. Both of those mean one thing: moisture is trapped where it shouldn't be. And this, right here, is why we're talking about this. This is not just about making your house look pretty. As the source material points out, and I'm quoting here, ignoring this stuff can lead to serious structural damage or even chimney collapse. Yeah, a chimney collapsing. So let's be super clear, this is a safety issue, first and foremost. All right, so we get it. The problem's serious. Now what's the fix? You're gonna hear two words thrown around a lot: tuck pointing and repointing. They sound almost the same and people mix them up all the time, but there's a really important difference. Let's crack the code. Okay, here's the breakdown. Think of repointing as the purely structural fix. It's all about function. You grind out the old, failing mortar and pack in new stuff to make the walls strong again. Simple. Now, tuck pointing does all of that, but then it adds a final artistic step. A very thin line of a different colored mortar is put over the top to create these really crisp, clean, perfect-looking joints. So it's a repair and a beauty treatment all in one. So, just to nail this down, tuck pointing is the whole shebang. It's a highly skilled process that basically kills two birds with one stone. It makes your brickwork structurally sound and makes it look brand new again. You get the strength and the style. Now, I really want to stress this. We're not talking about just smearing some cement into a crack. Proper tuck pointing is a genuine craft. It's a meticulous, multi-step method that takes real skill and knowledge to get right. It really is a masterclass. As you can see, it all starts with a super thorough inspection. A pro needs to know exactly what they're dealing with. Then they carefully grind out the old mortar to a very specific depth. If you go too shallow, the new stuff won't stick, but go too deep and you can wreck the bricks. Then everything has to be perfectly cleaned out, no dust, no debris. Only then is the new mortar packed in. After that comes the finishing, that's the artistry part. And finally, and you can't skip this, a waterproof sealant goes on top to protect the whole job. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but what's it going to cost me? And that's fair, but I want you to try and reframe that. Don't think of it as just an expense. This is truly an investment in the health, safety, and value of your home. So let's look at some real-world numbers. The source gave us a breakdown for New Jersey, which is a great example. A small chimney job, you're maybe looking at $300 to $900. A whole wall is usually priced by the square foot, somewhere in that $8 to $15 range. So yeah, the price tag really depends on the size of the job, but this gives you a solid ballpark to work with. But this number right here is the one that really matters. This is the pay me now or pay me a lot more later slide. Whatever tuck pointing costs you up front, waiting and letting water get in can lead to damage that costs 5 to 10 times more to fix. We're talking rot, mold, destroyed drywall. You don't want any of that. Okay, so you see a little crack, you head down to the hardware store, and you're thinking, hey, how hard can this be? I can probably do this myself, right? Well, when it comes to tuck pointing, that choice between DIY and calling a pro is a really, really big deal. Look, if you try this yourself, the risks are real. You could end up with a mortar color that doesn't match, making your wall look patchy and weird, or worse, you get a weak bond and you haven't actually solved the water problem at all. A professional, on the other hand, is like a mortar scientist. They can match the color and composition perfectly. They know the building codes and they'll stand by their work. They see the problems you can't. You know what they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that is absolutely true for brickwork. Once your home is all fixed up, or even if it's in great shape now, a little proactive maintenance can save you a world of trouble down the line. And here's your checklist. It's actually pretty simple stuff. Get your chimney looked at every so often. Make sure your gutters are clear so water isn't just pouring down your walls. And please, for the love of all that is good, do not take a pressure washer to your brick. You think you're cleaning it, but you're actually blasting away the mortar that protects it. These simple habits can save you a fortune. So the next time you walk past a brick house, I want you to look at it differently. Don't just see the bricks, see the mortar, see the story it's telling. Because at the end of the day, every brick building is either a fortress, built to last, or it's a ticking clock, just waiting for a problem. The only difference is whether or not someone is paying attention.